Good day, everybody, and welcome to the Ammunation on this very special Ammunation 40, the Thanksgiving edition of the Ammunation live stream. Welcome, Mr. Twin. How are you, sir?
Living the dream. How are you? How are you?
I'm doing all right. I got myself an extra long weekend because I took a day off. Actually, what happened was I won a day off. We do this monthly powwow, bi-weekly powwow with a couple of teams.
Mm-hmm.
And at work, and they spin a wheel at the end to see who's going to get a free day off. Basically, it doesn't count as vacation, doesn't count as a lieu day, doesn't count as anything. You just get paid not to come to work. Essentially, how they do it.
Decent.
Yeah. So yeah, I won it, and so I'm taking next Tuesday off. So
Very
should
nice.
be
Smart.
good. The wife and I are heading up to Waterloo. I'm going to go by an airsoft store called Black Blitz Airsoft and get some work done on one of my airsoft guns. And then I'm going to we'll probably go to JJ's first. There's a big game store in Waterloo called J&J's, cards and games. And they've got every board game you can think of, man. Like if they made it in English, they've got it. And they probably have some German shit and some French shit too. But yeah, they got everything. Plus they got some Warhammer.
Deutsche Scheiße. Nice.
Yeah, my buddy is like, I kind of want to get into Warhammer 40K, and I'm like, okay, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I'm getting into Warhammer 40K. So we can talk about that under Do You Even Game, Bro? But
yeah, for sure. And yeah, if you are interested in 40K and Canadian YouTube content creators, Northern Knights.
Okay, I'll have to look them up.
Yeah, friends of mine.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, not on the internet. On the internet, completely independent, but the people I know IRL.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
they have a channel called Northern Knights, and they do like they have this huge like setup for like tabletop playing,
That's
huge
cool.
battles, and they sort of run through it. Not like they almost do like a play-by-play, so you don't watch like a 2-hour fucking battle.
You don't want to do that.
Yeah, you watch 20-25 minutes of them showing, oh, and then this happened, and they show you the tactic and how like what the battle strategies were and shit. Yeah,
cool. I'll check them out. Yeah, because I'm getting really into it. I'm getting into lore, and here's something that's you're not going to see. The wife is kind of interested in it too, which is completely out of character. But I think it's because my friend Brian and his wife are doing it. So she's like, well, if Carrie and Brian are doing it and you're doing it, what am I going to do? Just sit up there and watch you? I better get into it too. So she's trying to think, what army does she want to play? So
just don't let her be Tau.
Yeah, apparently they suck in 10th edition too. The Tau. I was thinking about them because I love the models, but they're also very difficult to paint. Not very difficult to paint. They're unforgiving to paint. If you do a sloppy job, it's going to look like a sloppy job on Tau because there's all those flat areas and straight edges and stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah, anyway, yeah. So I'm thinking I was going to do Necrons. I was going to make my own dynasty. And then I was like, nah, you know what? Well, first off, the Necron Combat Patrol is not out. They had it out and then they took it away because I guess it was kind of overpowered. So they took it out. So I can't get the Necron Combat Patrol, which is like an 1,000-point army in a box kind of thing, right? So I'm thinking maybe I'll go Tyranids.
Fucking terrible. Why
am I terrible? Because I'm a xenophile. Is that
absolutely?
I like the Tyranids because they look cool, and I was gonna go all melee. It's gonna go like 100% melee. Like every unit is just slashy, fighty, bitey, bitey.
My armor is contempt. My shield is disgust. My sword is hatred. In the Emperor's name, let none survive.
Have you ever played 40K?
No.
No? You're just an old Warhammer Fantasy or Age of Sigmar.
Old world, yeah. Warhammer Fantasy. It's well, you know why? Because I always knew it existed, right? Like Warhammer is one of those things where you could talk to 1,000 different people, and they'd all go, "Yeah, I've heard of it, but I have no idea what it is."
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
it's same with Dungeons and Dragons, right? It's same with Dungeons and Dragons. Like everybody's heard D&D.
Mm-hmm.
dragons, but very few people know exactly what it is. What they know is what they saw in The Big Bang Theory. You know what I mean?
Or more
And
recently, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things. That's right. But yeah, yeah, he wants to do 40K. So I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll do it because I really love the Necron models. But since the Necron Combat Patrol is not available, I'm going to go Tyranids.
All right.
It's just what it is.
Dirty Xeno. What the fuck?
You're obviously with the armies of the Imperium, right?
Absolutely.
My buddy got the something of Vaughn, the Chronicles of Vaughn, or the something of Vaughn. They're like space dwarves, basically. Space dwarves with big space ogres. I thought they were like a Imperial Guard type faction because their armor kind of resembled it, but I have no idea what they are. So
no, yeah, honestly, I know very little about 40K. But yeah, like for me, it would be either the Imperium, absolutely, just because if there are good guys, it's them.
Well, nobody's really good in Warhammer 40K.
Yeah, we were having this like, but that's what I mean is like things are so bad that the like hyper zealous, ultra violent fascists are the only force against real evil. Like they're the only possible good guys.
See, what I was thinking was, if you're gonna play the human factions as being the good guys because it's sort of centered around them,
Yeah,
I would think that the Imperial Guard are the good guys because here they are, normal humans just devoted
yeah,
to their their leader and their nation and their race, and they're like, we have to fight against the aliens because the God Emperor tells us we must fight against. But they're not like religious zealots. They're just the forces. They're just the human forces, right?
yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of cool.
They're not the Space Marines. They're
They're not
just
the Space
dudes.
Marines. They're like 10 feet tall and have like 4 hearts and shit like that. Yeah. No, I'm. But for the Xeno races, the Tau aren't really that bad. They're kind of commie, but you know. And the Eldar, I would think, is probably pretty good, except that they're also very. Aren't they kind of xenophobic too? I don't know.
Wait. Are the Eldar the ones?
The space elves, the Eldari.
Oh, but they're dark elves. They're Slan elves.
They have dark Eldar too. The Drucardi or something like
Yeah, okay.
Drucardi. I don't know. The Bugatti. I don't know.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, there's the Dark Eldar, which are basically they're like a splinter group of the Eldar, and they're just a bunch of like torturing pirates. That's all they are. They're just like space pirates.
They're space rapists. They're space rapists.
They're space rapists. They're space dolphins because dolphins are rapists.
They get their power from rape.
That's funny. So yeah, I don't know what I'd like to do Necron, but Tyranid's probably where I'm going to go because we kind of want to get started playing sooner rather than later. So you're wearing a spiffy shirt, as CMAC would say. Looks like you're out to something festive or formal.
Yeah, just not formal, just Thanksgiving dinner, and
Okay.
I rarely have time to like properly dress up. Most of my outings during the summer were to the pool, right? So you don't spiffy up for the pool.
I hear you, man. Like since I've started this whole fitness journey, I wear nothing but track pants, and in the summer I was wearing like athletic shorts, right? So I tried on a pair of jeans the other day because the weather's calling for jeans, and I was like, "Oh, it's not a workout day, so I don't need to wear track pants today." So
and you
I tried on
realize
my jeans.
that looks fantastic, right?
No, all my jeans are fucking super loose. I've lost a pant size, so I went to Old Navy today and got myself a pair of 36/32 straight leg jeans, and I'm like, these feel right and they feel good. Like they don't feel like they're way too tight. Huh?
Good for you.
Thanks. Yeah. Speaking of, we can move on. Do you even lift, bro? How's your fitness journey going, sir? You been able to get back to the gym?
Yes, it's gotten better for me. Yeah.
Good.
I even the other day, because I have where's Jeezy when you need him? I have gay gym lovers.
Yeah.
So I was looking around. Someone had stolen all the 55-pound dumbbells, right? I just wanted to do a little bench press, and I was like, oh, no, I'm not going to be able to. My buddies are going, just do the 60s. Just do the 60s. So I was like, fuck it. Let's try. And 60s. And they went up. So I was like,
Nice.
okay, I have no choice now. I got to try the 65s. So
Oh
I
yeah.
did it. Yeah. Got 3
Two
reps out of it.
65 dumbbells, bench press.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got 3 reps out of it solid. And then the fourth, just even with a spot, I couldn't get it done. So I put it
No.
down. But now that's the problem, is that is now my benchmark. Ha, bench press, benchmark. And now I absolutely have to do it every time now. Otherwise, what the
Right,
fuck am I
right.
doing?
Well, that's how you test yourself, right? If you could do
Yeah.
4, if you could do 3 full reps, like good reps, this time after doing the 60s, right? If you start at the 65s, is that what you said? 165s. Uh 65 in each hand, right? So what's that? That's 130.
Yes, sir.
So if you start at the 65s and then you can do 4 clean reps, then you're like, okay, I'm getting stronger, kind of thing. I told you about my little help moment at the gym, right?
Yes.
So this week I decided I did my full bodies Monday and Wednesday, and Wednesday it just about killed me. I was like in so much pain, and I was so fatigued afterwards. Normally I do a couple more exercises after my superset, my full body supersets, but on Wednesday I'm like, I can't do it. I'm just like I'm completely spent, and I had to leave. Now I had upped the weight from
Good.
12 and a half in each hand to 15, but I think I might have gone too early to 15.
No, that's your benchmark now. Now you have to do it.
Well, I know I can do it because the idea behind these supersets is it's you're supposed to use a light weight,
Yeah.
right? Because you're doing exercises really fast, back to back, different exercises, right? So I'm like, but so Friday, I went yesterday. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to split sets because not only that, I feel like I can get more done in a week because I'm doing 2, 1 day off, 2 more, 2 days off. So I'm getting 4 actual sessions versus 3 full body sessions.
Right.
It probably works out to the same volume of exercises for each body part, but I also feel like I don't like being rushed at the gym. I want to take my time. I like going through the buffet of the different equipment and the different types of
Right.
exercises. Go, I'm going to try that, you know. But yeah, so I'm going back to my split routines. I'll go back full body, upper body Monday, lower body Tuesday, rest Wednesday, upper body Thursday, lower body Friday, rest Saturday, Sunday. That's my plan. That's my plan anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, see, I think it's also because of the type of gym that I go to. You go to like a bougie gym.
Yeah.
I go to the dirt gym.
Yeah.
I go to the Planet Fitness.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, it could be
eh,
worse. Go to the YMCA.
oof. But so you want to sample the buffet of all the different exercises and the equipment on your. I don't have that because then my workouts would take 2.5 hours waiting for
Right.
fucking equipment because it's packed
Right.
with fucking losers. So what I've done is instead reduced my workouts to 4 or 5 exercises
Yeah.
and just do tons of sets and reps,
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
So even though I'm only doing 4 or 5 exercises, I'll do still 25 to 30 sets before I'm out of
Yeah.
there, right?
Right.
So
So I'm guessing these are mostly compound exercises. So you're getting all your muscles as opposed to like isolation machines and that sort of thing.
well, it depends, right? Like, so it's simple push pull leg, right?
Yeah.
Plus a shoulder day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like shoulder day, do I really only shoulder day's got 4. It's the most compact, right?
Right.
So
Right.
once I get a bench, right, which is the biggest weight, like the waiting time is waiting for a free fucking bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I do overhead press, do the lateral raises, and I superset them with rear delt flies,
Okay.
right? You can do them sitting on the bench, right? Get your feet out in front of you, tuck the
Yeah.
weight
Yeah.
under your legs. And then when I run out of steam, doing those. I go to the cable machine, doesn't matter who's there. Hey, can I work in? Just drop it real quick, whip out some sets of shoulder lateral raises on the cable machine until
Yeah.
I die.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm learning more. Like for the longest time, I was like, no, should do as few sets and few reps as possible. Just do as much weight as possible and get it done, kind of thing. And now I'm reading more about, you know what? I'm seeing more people talk about volume is actually key to uh, building what do you call it, muscle. So it's not just necessarily about the mass, but it's also about how often you're picking it up and using it, like how many times you are, like how many sets and how many reps, that kind of thing. We got a comment from Uncle Jeezy. I'm one a carb load rest week before my big mountain day on Monday. Nice. He's on a carb load. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Big mountain day I guess Jeezy does mountain climbing or hiking or something, or
I don't know if he's hiking
oh,
or bike riding, maybe.
maybe he's bike riding. Yeah.
Bike riding up a fucking mountain. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, there's two different schools of thought, right? Like, and basically, it comes down to Ronnie Coleman versus Jay Cutler,
Right.
right? That Ronnie Coleman was doing squats of 800 pounds, screaming lightweight baby, and Jay Cutler swears by lighter weights and more sets, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to hit those maxes. You have to get the muscle to burn, and that's
Right.
it, right?
You got to come. The guy I watch, what do you call his name? Renaissance Periodization.
Mm,
You got a YouTube channel, and he apparently has his own app called RP, the RP app. Anyway, Renaissance Periodization is also like he's a doctor as well as a fitness instructor and that kind of stuff. He's like, yeah, no, like Mike Metzner was great, but he never won Mr. Olympia, and he did know
yeah,
his shit. He wrote a book like a best-selling book about. He was all about don't overwork your muscles because all the muscle building goes in when you're resting, right? So you're actually the exercise is the stimulus for the muscles to be repaired on your rest days. So if you're doing extra sets or extra reps, you're actually impacting your ability to grow muscle because you need more rest days or you need longer rest because you've worked out much harder. But I'm like, couldn't you say the same thing about doing heavy weight with low reps? Like, I mean, if you go too heavy on your weight and you like fight to get 3 reps out of it, you're fatiguing your muscles as much as if I were doing a lighter weight and did 10 reps. Right. So as a matter of fact, you might be doing more damage, but maybe more damage leads to more growth. I don't know.
no, I mean, look, it's just tools, right?
Yeah.
And you're gonna find what you respond to, right?
Yeah.
Like if you feel like I don't know, you're not getting the even though you're exhausted at the end of your what is it, your superset
Yeah.
exercise,
Yeah.
superset program, but it doesn't feel like you're getting stronger, or you don't feel like good the next day,
That's the
right?
thing. Well, I'll say this: I don't feel bad the next day, but I mean, like, and I know gains take a long time for you to actually notice them, but I feel like I'm I'm exerting myself as much as I would on a regular, split routine, like my regular slow and steady kind of routine. It's just I'm becoming fatigued quicker. So when I feel fatigued right afterwards, I feel like I've just done cardio as opposed to done
Mm,
weightlifting. You know what I mean? My face is dripping with sweat. I'm short of breath, and yeah, I'm like, what the hell? And that's how I don't normally feel that after butterflies because I'm doing butterflies slow and steady, and
yeah,
I'm doing like full extension and full touch, with my hands. I'm talking about the butterfly machine. I like the butterfly machine.
yeah,
So
pack fly.
yeah. So Uncle Jeezy says Mount Whitney round trip, 32-kilometer distance, 2,000 meters of elevation gain. Wow, and I'm
That's got
assuming
to be a bike ride.
yeah,
That's
he's
got to
got.
be.
You're not going to walk 32 kilometers. Uh, I mean, you could, I guess, but that's crazy. Good for you, man. Awesome. Sounds like fun. Where is Mount Whitney? Is that in Washington State? On
On
foot.
foot, he's fucking running it.
How How long are you? How long are you taking for this trip? Like, is it a 3-day weekend kind of thing? Oh, it's in California. Mount Whitney's in California. My mistake.
8 to 10 hours. Holy shit.
Well, that's a good solid. So now, when you say 8 to 10 hours, Uncle Cheesy, do you mean you're going to do a 5 hour hike, rest for the night, and do another 5 hour hike? Or are you talking about you do it all one day?
He said Monday.
Just doing it on Monday. I don't
All
know.
day. All day on Monday, right? I mean, geez. Like at a walk. So he's gonna be jogging it one shot. Like, I mean, that is a heavy walking pace if you wanted to do it in 10 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I'm I don't look forward to a 45-minute walk to the gym when I decide I'm going to walk instead of drive. I'm like, oh, it's a long walk. It's not really a long walk. It's a 45-minute walk, but
We've got a
West
good
Workout
commune
is the
here.
one you stick with, my friend. Keep it up. You'll get there as long as you remain consistent. That's my buddy James, JD Cartography. He's shown some amazing progress in his exercise journey. I don't want to get too personal, but he had a health scare about a year ago, and yeah, had to make a solid, complete change to his lifestyle, and his results have been amazing. So
I follow him on Twitter. I've seen some pictures. It's looking pretty buff, pal. Looking pretty
yeah,
buff. Keep
looking
it up.
great, looking great.
And
Uh,
like friend of mine, he's got a gym in his new condo or whatever.
yeah,
He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't have a routine or anything. He's just been like, I just go there and I like do whatever I want. And in a couple of weeks, he's already seeing results. Like
yeah,
for guys who do labor jobs,
yeah,
starting to focus on your arms a little bit, your arms start to cut out immediately. Like
yeah.
it just happens. So, but the fact that he saw it in just a couple days and now he's going all the time, it's made him no, I can't have a couple of beers on a Tuesday
True.
because I got to go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? He's already changing his lifestyle just like to fit the gym. It's so weird, but yeah, because he's just doing it, right? And he doesn't know what he's doing. He has no idea. It's still working, right? Noob gains.
Yeah, you gotta love it, right? And I mean, that's the thing. It's uh, your body. Your body doesn't care uh, if you're following a routine. You know, it's just going to respond to the stimuli, right? So, the Gilbert Jubenville. Is it true that AVE AVE couch
Average.
potato? On average, there we go. Couch potato outlives the extreme athletes. I don't think so, but I definitely don't believe in being extreme in any endeavor is good for longevity / life expectancy.
Okay, look at a guy like Ronnie Coleman. He's
Right.
all fucked up. And he's probably not going to make it to like 75.
I'm not familiar with Ronnie Coleman. I don't know a lot of the big names in fitness, but
It's not even fitness. That's bodybuilding. Like that's
okay.
Mr. Olympia 8 years
Right,
running.
right, right,
The
right.
king, Ronnie Coleman, right? Watch the doc on Netflix. It's pretty good.
Okay.
Um, so like extreme athletes, what do you mean? Roided out bodybuilders? Sure, maybe couch potatoes will outlive roided up bodybuilders who shorten their lifespan dramatically with the steroids, right? But I
Yeah.
mean,
Someone who goes to the gym 4 times a week, I don't consider that extreme. I think that's a good, healthy
yeah,
lifestyle.
ball
Um,
players, marathon runners, triathletes, no, 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 no one's outliving them unless they're jabbed. Then and they're all done. So yeah.
just for a bit of a trivia here, Gilbert Jubenville is a former PPC representative here in my riding, actually.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah,
Keep it up.
but
Keep
yeah,
it running.
I don't think he's the rep anymore. I think he's moved to local politics, which is great.
Oh,
Um, Power lifters die young, says Uncle Jeezy, because mass taxes your system functions. Ultra runners live to 100. Yeah, I can see that because they generally stay lean and produce. They still have low body fat, but they're also lean muscle. JD says guys like Ronnie did steroids all through the 80s and 90s, back when the steroids were really bad. 99% of folks are not like that, thankfully.
What is
Did
it?
Ronnie, did
Diagonal and
Ronnie,
Winstrol? The shit they give to fucking racehorses?
did Ronnie get bitch tits like Meatloaf did in
No,
Fight Club?
no. But fuck, like, so what's funny is in his first Mr. Olympia,
Yeah.
he didn't place. And if you go take a look at pictures of him in his first Mr. Olympia, like he
Yeah.
literally came in dead last.
No fooling, eh?
He wasn't on steroids.
Right.
And he was like, the man had like just perfect genetics
Yeah.
and the work ethic to get all this muscle growth
Yeah.
without doing the steroids. He was so naive, he didn't even really know they were doing it.
That's funny. So are you saying that Mr. Olympia is like full of drugs?
Of course.
Oh, really? I thought it was an all natural kind of thing.
No. God no.
Yeah.
No. No, no, no. They literally have there's a category called natural bodybuilding. And
Oh, okay.
you can see the difference in like it's nuts. And I like yeah, they never really like to talk about it. But
Right.
yeah. Fuck. Like yeah. You cannot put on that kind of mass without steroids. It's just
Right.
like yeah, the human bodies are not built for that. You know what I mean? Like what's that deficiency you would have to have?
Myostatin.
There you go. Right.
Yeah.
So
If you don't have myostatin, enough myostatin in your system, your body grows muscles, and it doesn't have a myostatin is the indicator to tell your body to stop growing muscle. If you are lacking in myostatin, you can potentially grow muscles indefinitely. There's lots of photos of these kids in like well, there's an all natural league apparently. Okay, there's lots of photos of these kids. Like there's this kid in Russia, and I think there's another one in Asia somewhere. The kid is like 8 years old, and he's cut like Bruce Lee. He's got all this muscle definition, and his father, who's also big into fitness, he's like, hey man, like take advantage of it. I don't know if they're giving him some drugs to inhibit his myostatin, but uh
I would
yeah,
hope not.
I would
That's
hope not too, because well, one, if there's a drug, you shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't be given to a kid because it's probably not very good. But
we
two,
yeah.
where can I find some?
I just need a little. Just
Yeah,
need
I just
no,
need a
you
little
know,
bit.
no.
Uh, JD says, "There's check out Doug Miller, one of the best natural bodybuilders. They can get huge, but it takes long years, and they are not as gargantuan as the International Bodybuilding Federation." Yeah,
Yeah,
my trainer Chevy tells me he's all natural. He does not use any. He uses creatine. That's probably the extent of what he uses, right? But that's a natural occurring chemical.
yeah, it's
Um,
monohydrate, right?
right. So yeah, and he's not a tall guy. Like I tower over him by about 5 or 6 inches, but um, he's like jacked, but he's also cut. Like there's muscle definition in there, and yeah, and I've never seen back acne or thinning hair or anything. So I don't think he's on SARMs or steroids or anything.
No, but I mean, then you look at a guy like Jay Cutler, who I think at his biggest, like he stands like 5'8", and
Yeah,
I think at his biggest he was almost 260 pounds.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm down to 220 now. By the way,
nice.
I lost another 3 pounds. I'm happy about that. Went down pant size, like I told you, and I my body fat percentage dropped from 24 point something to 23 nothing, 23.0. So it's a little bit down. It's not as much as when I last measured it, but
But you did eat all those fucking s'mores cookies that day, like a
oh,
whole
yeah,
fucking bag of them.
it's true, right?
Like, hey man, abs are made in the kitchen.
It's true. It's true. So is a spare tire. You can make two things in the kitchen: abs or spare tires. Yeah. No, I know. It's I overindulged. I regret doing it, but still, my body fat percentage is down, so that's good. I want to get to below 20. I don't need to see visible abs, but I like to see a little bit less flab around the midsection is all.
Maybe you could try that thing.
What's that?
Zero sugar.
Zero sugar altogether. Well, that slip up with those s'mores fucking things, I've had zero sugar. I mean, apart from sugars coming in the form of fruits and things like that, but
See, that's what I mean. Even
take out
that.
the fruit altogether.
Take out the fruit. Like, you can't have pasta, almost no bread. There's very little bread that you'd be able
Oh,
to
you're
eat.
saying go full keto, like full
No,
ketogenic?
you don't have to go keto. Like, you can still have rice. You can still have complex carbohydrates, but you just can't have sucrose, right?
Okay,
So, like, no honey, right? Your coffee has to be black because there's fucking sucrose and lactose in the milk.
right.
Uh,
Well, I don't really take my coffee black with sweetener, so you can't have sweetener either. Then I'm guessing.
as I, if it's not actual sugar, I should be okay,
Okay, all right.
right? Um,
Gilbert says, I am fasting 15 hours and feel great. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to attempt 24 or more.
so
Uh,
apparently, this is like,
alternate day fasting is apparently a good strategy. Alternate
but
day
it's
fasting, yeah,
like everything else. It needs practice. So if you do a 15-hour fast, great. Eat normally for a couple of days, then try a 24-hour fast, ideally when you don't have much to do, right? Like, you're not going to be going to your labor job and then mow the lawn on a fast. Don't try that.
right. CMAC says, have you tried? Welcome, CMAC. Good to see you. Have you tried taking exogenous ketones? No, I have not. JD says a 16-hour fast is usually the average for intermittent fasting, 8 p.m. to 12 p.m. Yeah, that's what I was doing for the longest time. I was doing 1 to 9 though. Like my eating window was 1 to 9, just because it was easier for me to have lunch at 1. But yeah, I've stopped that. Now I'm just I've reduced my sugar down to, like, I'm only getting it in a banana if I eat a banana. Um, so yeah, um, not eating, not drinking pop, not drinking or eating, really high sugar foods or anything like that. I take an onion soup of ketones when I feel fat. See, Mac, I don't know if it's possible for you to feel fat. Um, I normally eat 1 meal a day. I was doing OMAD for a while as well, but the problem was I couldn't get enough calories in 1 meal because I was having a hard time cooking for, my basal metabolic rate is 2030. I was having a hard time being able to cook 2030 worth of calories, mostly protein, in 1 meal. That was my issue. Anyway, that's enough. I know JD will talk fitness banter all day if
Oh,
I
for
let him.
sure.
But let's move on, folks. Once again, welcome to the Ammunation. If you're just popping in here, I appreciate y'all coming by. If you're not a subscriber, please feel free to like and subscribe, and maybe share this channel with all your degenerate, irreverent friends who will appreciate the type of humor and chicanery we get up to here. I want to talk about the main topic of tonight. What are you thankful for, Mr. Twin?
Whiskey.
It's a good thing to be thankful for.
And I guess family and friends.
Sure. But you do that on it, like, you don't need to remember them once a year because you're thankful for them every day. You say thank you every time. Hey, can you pass me the butter? Thank you. You're thankful for them all the time. But things that you are profoundly like, you know what? It gives me pause to think about this thing right now, and recognize how thankful I am for it. And I'm trying to think what that is. Apart from family and apart from loved ones, and I'm thankful I'm not dead. How about that?
Yeah, thankful I'm alive. That's
Yeah.
okay. So this is gonna sound corny as fuck. I'm thankful that I'm the one that knew this dog. Yeah,
Why is that?
because he's just, man. Like, people tell you, oh yeah, my dog is my best friend. It's like, no, my dog is my best friend. Right? We're talking about maybe getting married with a woman, not the dog.
Yeah.
And she said, well, who would be your best man? And I didn't hesitate. I said, Gordo. And she laughed and went, oh, that's so cute. But really, I was like, bitch, did I stutter?
Huh.
He's already wearing a tux. We just put a bow tie on him. He's good to go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Wait a second. You buried the lead there. You're talking about getting married?
Oh, this was years ago.
Oh, okay, okay. I
Yeah.
thought maybe you've got someone in your
No,
life
no.
that you're talking seriously about. Um,
I don't think that was the breaking point, but she
right.
definitely was not happy about that.
Yeah. Women, what can you say about them? I can say lots, but I won't. What am I thankful for? I said I'm thankful I'm alive. I'm thankful for my life, for sure. I'm thankful that it continues to putter on. I'm thankful that the MRI results came back negative. There's absolutely nothing wrong with my head or neck, apart from I probably have a pinched nerve somewhere, not on my spine. My spine's perfect, my brain's perfect, but it's I've got a pinched nerve somewhere here, and that's what's causing me the discomfort in my TMJ and in my throat.
And the weird ass
So,
lump.
and do I have a weird ass lump? See, now you're making me self conscious. Melia's like, no, you don't have a weird ass lump.
You do when you
I
turn
feel
your
like
head.
this side of my head is rounder than this side of my head.
Well, it's in the neck when you turn your head a certain way. Yeah. Oh, that's reptilian.
I'm just exercising my muscles. We got a few more comments. Coach says my favorite fasting window is 2 to 8 p.m. Cardio workouts 6 to 7 a.m. and weights right after my lunch. There you go, man. Costin said greetings, but he'd been here from the very beginning. Just because I'm tiny doesn't mean I don't have fats. Oh, sure you do. Sure you do. I know. But the pictures I've seen of you, C-Mac, you seem to be quite the svelte young lady. Smiley, all hail Costin. So how about that third intifada? Yeah, I guess we can move on to that. I didn't have a banner for it, but so big shit going down in Israel, huh?
I haven't heard it. I've been busy.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's been fights between Hamas and Israel right now. I blame
Oh
Joe
yeah, I
Biden.
heard something about that. Yeah, okay.
I
But
blame
like,
Joe Biden.
sure, but I mean, doesn't that happen constantly anyway?
Apparently, this is a big brouhaha now. It's
Oh
not. It's not
no.
like a little a shitty rocket was fired into Israeli territory or Jewish territory, and a bus shelter got blown up or something like that. It's like a big on like full scale Benghazi type of thing, like a big old thing. Da, 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 da. I'm thankful for paragliders. Okay, hey, lol. What are paragliders?
Oh, is that the one where you tie yourself to a boat
No,
as opposed
that's
to paragliding?
parasailing. Paragliding is where you have a parachute, but you maneuver how you're going to drop.
Oh,
You can extend your flight just by
yeah, yeah.
changing your hand angles and shit. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's a
Okay, I know.
workout. That's a workout.
I am not thankful for the family of Irving Twin. Oh
Don't
man,
worry, Costin. They're not thankful for you either.
there you go. I'm thankful I canceled my trip to the music festival in Israel. There you go. There you go. I'd bring my horse to my wedding. Do it. Absolutely. Could your horse, I guess, aren't you worried though your horse might eat your bouquet instead of hold it for you? Horses like to eat vegetation like that. Uh, Perfect brain, maybe get a second opinion. Well, I don't mean perfect in the sense that it's infallible. I just mean perfect like there's nothing unhealthy about it. Thanks, Jeezy. Uh, would C-Mac bring her horse to my wedding?
Of course, because it'd be the same wedding.
That's right. You guys would be one and the same, Costin. You know that you two are fated for each other. Uh, Two pure fruits. Tony Tucker. I don't know what that means. Oh, maybe he's talking about us. Are we a pair
Yeah.
of fruits? Pure fruits? Oh,
Yeah, why not?
thanks, Tony. I don't know who Tony is. Have you seen him before?
Never. Welcome.
Welcome, Tony. Welcome to the Ammunation live stream. Appreciate you popping in. Be sure to uh, deride us and mock us as much as your heart's content. Just subscribe to the channel and tell all your other disrespectful friends that there's a place you can come and be disrespectful to the hosts and they don't
Oh,
care.
yeah, this actually might be
Ability to make an honest, good living remotely. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm thankful for that.
I was going to say, hey, Gilbert, if you need any help, give me a call. Yeah, I'd love to work remotely.
Oh yeah. How do you stack boxes remotely though?
I could do something else. Be
No,
fine.
you put a VR headset on. You control the robots with your mind.
That would be awesome. That'd be the
Um,
best video game ever.
Race War Part Two: The Gaza Boogaloo.
You ever
Jeezy,
notice that people keep thinking the race war is going to come between the white people and the black people, and every time there's a race war, it's always the fucking Jews?
the Jews and but that's not the thing is okay. The people of Palestine and the people of Israel, they're Jewish or they're both Semitic peoples. So it's not a race war. It's a culture war. It's a religious war. It's a holy war or an unholy war. Uh, it's going to be a complete mayhem for the next while. Yeah, yeah. Things are going to get gradually worse over the next coming months. I've been watching a lot of Canadian prepper lately, and yeah, I have a feeling that things are going to escalate and get bad. I have a feeling we might see open hot conflict between NATO and Russia over this
100%.
Ukraine thing, and it might be happening sooner than we think. I think that I'm not trying to praise the guy or anything, but I have a feeling Putin is not going to be so quick on the trigger as people imagine him to be.
Mm.
I think he'd be very, very calculated about, launching any nuclear bombs or nuclear missiles anywhere. People are saying if Ukraine joins NATO, or if NATO decides to openly, put boots on the ground in Russia to fight for Ukraine, then Putin's just going to launch a nuke. I don't think that would happen, but I do think he would engage in full scale war against NATO, and all the while telling them we must have peace talks. It can't go on like this. All the while trying to play you know the reasonable, rational one. Meanwhile, it'd be like Cold War stuff behind the lines. There'd be shit going on, and nobody would know if it was a false flag attack or real. And yeah, I have a feeling that's what there'd be a dirty bomb smuggled somewhere, and it would be fingerprinted to the remnants of ISIS, but in reality, it was actually Putin. Something along those lines will start happening. That's my guess.
They'll just frame them, false flag it.
Well, they will. There'll be stuff that you won't know if it's false flag or legit attack by Putin, or
Oh, I'll
there'll be
know it's a
stuff.
false flag. I called it already. Like,
Oh, okay,
if
fair
it
enough.
happens, I've seen the future. That's all.
There you go. My old horse used to eat the flowers at the competitions in the winners area. Yeah, I think instinct kicks in.
It would be
Uh,
great too if the horse was eating the other horse's flowers.
she ate some of these. I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen up on the little dais there. The horses are standing right near each other. The winner's got like a wreath around its neck,
Yeah.
and the horse beside is like nibbling on it. Why
They're
not?
hungry. They just ran this heavy, hard race. Come on.
Uh, C-Max says Canadian Prepper is retarded. Watch Angry Prepper instead. I've watched more than one prepping channel. I think I've seen Angry Prepper. No, I find he does more analysis about like he has these videos where he analyzes what's happening in the current state of the world and what it means, and of course it's biased towards his inclinations, right? Also, Black Scout Survival is good. There's also a Scandinavian woman called Lily, and she's got a channel called Survival Lily, and she goes out and does like solo camps in the middle of the forest in whatever country. I want to say she's in Switzerland, maybe Sweden. I'm not sure, but yeah,
Mm.
she's got a good channel. I haven't watched a lot of her stuff lately, but she's been commenting on what's happening in the world lately, as opposed to just saying, "Here's how you make a you know, here's how you light a fire with a bow," stuff like that.
This is why you're gonna need to know these things. She was on Naked and Afraid, apparently.
Oh, was she really? Damn, I should have watched it because she is kind of cute. I'm not gonna lie. Um,
I have a friend.
yep.
He's been teaching up on the reserves for more than a decade now, and he he's learning some of the native skills and stuff like that, like traditional stuff. And he's telling me, yeah, no, I could do all these things now. I know how to do X, Y, and Z, like certain fishing, cleaning the fish, and making shelters, right? Make a fire,
Yeah.
right? Oh, even with the hunting, right? Hunting and making snares
Yeah.
for catching rabbits and such. And I was like, okay. but could you walk home? He's like, what? From way up there, up north, could you pack what you need and walk the 3 weeks back to Toronto? And he went, shit. So he's not ready.
Because you're talking like in a survival situation, he'd be walking on foot from Toronto to that
No,
place.
from where he is up north back to
Why
Toronto.
would he come back to Toronto?
Just as a distance, could you
Oh, okay.
confidently say, "Oh yeah, I need this, 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 and this, and I can catch rabbits and avoid bears and make my
Right,
way
right,
back over a
right,
period of 3 and like not be afraid that, oh my God, I'm
right.
gonna die." Right?
Yeah.
No, I'll be fine. It's the forest. It has everything I need. Right?
It's also very dangerous, right? So yeah, you have a good point. Yeah. Okay.
It was just, yeah, like, you want to do those things, I get it, or it's nice to know them. I can tie some knots. I don't think I could walk 3 weeks through the woods, right?
Also, Black Scout Survival is good, and she was on Naked and Afraid. Who was on Naked and Afraid?
Wait, was it Lily or was it Black Scout Survival? Now I'm not sure.
Yeah, was it Survival Lily or doesn't matter? Someone was naked and afraid. 3 weeks, I could go a couple hundred miles.
Oh, Lily.
Survival Lily. Okay, Survival Lily was okay. Cool. Um, yeah, as far as survival goes, I think I would be flying by the seat of my pants. I think I'm probably about 12% more prepared than most average persons, but I'm nowhere near prepared to like go out and live in the wilderness. I could, but I'd be, my chances of survival would not be as high as someone who is like legit trained in survival. The only reason I would give myself a bit more survivability than, uh, the average schmo is I have guns and I
Mm.
know how to shoot, and I've watched enough. I've watched enough survival stuff to go, okay, I know how to do that. Not, or okay, I know where to set my camp, or on what type of ground I should lay down my mat, kind of thing. But anyway, Gilbert Jubinville said, "What happened to Owen Benjamin? Probably ground zero for famous people who were canceled and forced into homesteading. Epic rants down deep rabbit holes."
Owen
Uh,
Benjamin was never good.
who's Owen Benjamin? Was he a survivalist too? Did he do survival
No,
stuff?
no, he was just some Politico pundit type.
Oh, okay, all right, fair enough.
Probably a douchebag.
Like Rachel Gilmore.
Oh, speaking of douchebags, though,
Yeah.
you know who JF Gary Epi is?
Who?
JF Gary Epi. If
J.F. Gary Epi.
if you
No, I
were
can't.
ever a fan, if you were ever a fan of Andy Worski, you might have met JF Gary Epi.
I watched a little bit of Andy Worski, but I was never a huge fan of his. But anyway,
Yeah. JF Gary Epi is a French Canadian right wing psychopath, I guess.
okay.
Well, yeah. Well, if this guy walks up and down mountains, yes, he can
Yeah,
just
I have a
run down.
feeling I have a feeling he's more than 12% more prepared than
We'll
the
we'll,
fucking.
we'll we can circle back to the human animal, and its major advantage was not actually the thumbs and the brain.
Right.
But yeah, so JF Gary Epi has the most ridiculous French Canadian accent, and years of English language streaming has not improved at all. It is ridiculous,
Probably has no intention to improve it, right?
I guess. But he also he was dating, under quotes, dating a woman that they referred to her as Mama JF, and people at first were saying, "No, no, it's the language difference and a speech impediment. She's not retarded." This bitch is fucking retarded, okay?
Oh my goodness.
She was dating a literal retard for years and years,
Oh my
okay?
goodness.
And now she's missing. She's been missing for months, and
Oh
apparently
boy.
it was only reported a few days ago at this point. Now, JF Gary Epi is so ridiculous that, again, my head goes really weird. One of the big bad guys in Warhammer Fantasy is Archaon, the Ever Chosen, three-eyed king and bringer of the end times. And as soon as I started disliking this Gary Epi guy, which was immediately, I just thought, Gary Epon, the Downey chosen, retard king and the bringer of the French times. It was hilarious to me, okay?
Jean-Francois Guerrier. I see him here on the Wikipedias.
And of
Finally,
course,
there's no
no
nothing
mention.
about any controversy.
Well, check out maybe his Twitter, his X, because he keeps talking about it. He planted that potato in the woods somewhere. Yeah, like so yes, the assumption on the internet and apparently by the RCMP is that he has murdered her. And they are investigating him and investigating her disappearance. And I just came up with this. I don't know. Now the authorities are banging on my doors and windows at all hours of the day and night. I can get no rest, and I don't even have a big titty retard to come on or inside to relieve my stress. This is without doubt the least satisfying murder I have ever committed.
Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. He planted that potato out in the woods somewhere. Oh my god, that's terrible. There was a porn star who was like borderline retarded. And people were like, "You're abusing her."
Hannah
Yeah.
Hayes.
But she was above 18, so they're like, hey, and she was also, she wasn't in she didn't have she wasn't under guardianship. She was like she lived on her own, that kind of
So
stuff.
look, her name is Hannah Hayes. She's cute.
Oh, so you know who this porn star is?
Yes.
Okay.
She doesn't have like a disorder or a disability. She's just really, really stupid. Yes.
Like, is she legally retarded stupid though? Like, yeah, because I was gonna say she's not like Down syndrome, but is she
No,
legally
no.
retarded stupid? So
She's
below 100?
one
Below 75?
standard one standard deviation under the norm. Yeah. Like 85 to 87 isn't properly retarded. Right.
I'm worried that Irving knew the retard porn star that fast.
Oh, because I heard that's how I heard of her.
Oh, okay.
Was that so? It's just a retarded girl that you're taking advantage of. And I went to her Twitter and stuff just to see like, is she retarded? It's like, okay, she's very not smart, but she's not like she doesn't have some.
She's not like, she's not like hockey helmet retarded, right? She's not like
Right.
Gretzky, she's not like
She's not a
that.
hypo, right? She doesn't need to be tied up to the swing set so that she doesn't run into traffic, right?
Who's Jeff Berwick? It's not Ricky Berwick. You're not talking about Ricky Berwick, are you? You know who Ricky Berwick is, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Ricky Berwick's fucking hilarious. I see him on YouTube Shorts all the time.
Yeah, he's fucking weird though.
He's leaning into his disability.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, fuck, man. If I gotta live like this, I may as well make some bank off of it. Good for him, man.
C-Mac, why do I know that word? And why can't I remember what it means?
Is Irving hot for trisomy? Something have to do with like extra chromosome or something? I don't know. What is? Okay, I'm gonna look up trisomy now. You can Google this shit. Who's Jeff Berwick? I'm gonna look him up.
No idea who Jeff Berwick is. The name sounds familiar, but maybe I'm just thinking.
Canadian entrepreneur. Oh, I see his picture. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who he is. He looks familiar, but I don't know who he is. He founded the Dollar Vigilante, an anarcho-capitalist blog focusing on gold, silver, mining stocks, Bitcoin, and offshore banking. Oh, okay. You know what? I think I may have seen him on one of the podcasts because he looks familiar.
Dollar Vigilante.
The Dollar Vigilante. That's awesome. Good name. And then trisomy. Let's look up trisomy.
Yeah, while you're doing that, I'll put it this way. Look, when I'm meeting a woman in whom I might be interested, the first thing I look for is honestly intelligence. Because if she doesn't have that, then she's mine.
That's a good joke.
That's Anthony Jeselnik. He's
It sounds like one of
he's a
his.
fucking
Yeah.
champ. Yeah, I love Jeselnik, man.
What do I look for in a woman? Well, I found her. It's my wife. I don't know what it was that caused me to fall in love with my wife, but I did, and it just never looked back, kind of thing. But what do I find physically attractive in a woman?
A tucked penis.
That's not a woman, man.
A well-tucked penis.
It's still not a woman. Um, physical attractiveness. I think it comes down to ratios, right? It's like boob to arm ratio, breast to waist ratio, that kind of stuff. So neck to head ratio, like a long neck is really really attractive. I find. I tend to like slender girls. When I met Melina, she was quite slender and tall. That was the other thing I liked about her. Because I'm a tall guy, I need a girl who's like also tall. So she's perfect height for me. She's only a few inches shorter than me, right? Which is what a girl and guy should be like, right? Anyway. Is Craig a biologist? Is Bragg? No, I'm not a biologist. Why? Because I knew trisomy had to do with chromosomes. No, I think it was just a lucky guess. No, I was very poor high school student when it comes to sciences. I love science, very interested in science, but I was not a good student at it. So
Biology was like my best one.
really,
The mitochondria are the powerhouse of the cells.
yes, they are.
I've got it's mitochondria. That's what spontaneous human combustion is.
Oh, really?
I believe.
You think there's an atomic sort of chain reaction going on, almost like in a nuclear reactor?
Some signal gets sent everywhere all at once by accident from probably a malfunctioning mitochondria that burns super hot, right? And will burn itself out and kill the cell. We know this is possible. This is actually something that can happen, right? That the cell gets destroyed by a bad mitochondria.
Right.
And if they all get that signal at once and all do it at once, it just overheats everything and you're left with a pile of ash. That's why nothing outside is burned, right? You'll find a pile of ashes in the shape of a person on a couch, and the couch is hardly burned at all.
Yeah, it's like there's like smoke. There's like smoke damage to it, and a little bit of heat type of damage. But
you could probably clean it and not know the difference, right? Like
now, do the Golgi apparatus, says CMAC. I don't know what that is. And the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. What's the formula for the Kelvin cycle? Kelvin cycle or the Kelvin cycle?
No, Kelvin cycle is that ATP to energy?
You guys are all big brains and smart. I shouldn't have taken a hit of that thing before I started the live stream because I'm feeling really, really dumb right now.
No, the women thing.
Yeah, the women thing. That's not a woman. So, are you a biologist? Do you see the clip of Candace Owens at some sort of talk at some university?
I'm too pregnant for this. Get a helmet.
Yeah, get a helmet. It's fucking hilarious. If you haven't seen it, folks, I'm gonna share it so I can find it real quick.
Light independent photosynthesis. Wait, what? Wait. CO2 plus H2O. Arrow with what is it? Light and chlorophyll yield C6H12O6 and O2. Yeah.
I just want the clip. I don't want like fucking everybody's commentary on it. I just want the clip. Yeah, whatever. If you haven't seen it, look it up. It's just Candace Owens Q&A college, and you'll find it. It's the most recent.
Okay, there's a dark reaction. The plants actually have to use the stoma to intake oxygen again. Because there are some plants that like the shade. They actually grow better when shaded by other plants.
Like ferns.
Sages, I think, as well.
They get indirect. They get indirect light. Helps them grow. The hell are we talking about?
But that just sounds weird. Light independent photosynthesis. Photo is light.
Right. So how can it?
Yeah,
Yeah, how can
that's weird.
photosynthesis function without
Anti
photons?
photosynthesis.
Yeah. Mushrooms don't. They don't use photosynthesis, but then they're not really plants, are they?
It's hard to classify mushrooms
Yeah.
because they oddly exhibit behaviors from both flora and fauna.
Yeah. They don't have. They don't. They're not seed bearing. They don't fruit.
No,
But
no,
then
they
they.
fruit. The thing you see and you call a mushroom is the fruit.
No, I know, but I mean, like, and I guess they're edible too. So I guess when I think of fruit, I think of a bud that transforms into a fruit, right?
So I think the technical term for fruit is the part of the plant, the fleshy part that carries the seed. That's why tomatoes are fruits.
Right. Did you do haircuts? If so, looking slick, homies. I'm not. If not, looking slick, homies. I had my haircut a couple weeks ago.
Thanks for saying so. Thanks, I appreciate it, and thanks for
Did you get
noticing.
your haircut? I didn't notice. I'm a bad friend.
It's okay. I try to keep it short so it never really gets that.
Yeah, you can never tell when you had a haircut. My hair grows fast, and yeah, so in another week I'll have to get another haircut. And I've only got it cut like 2.5 weeks ago. So
And just get everyone say you know, good job being alive. Six, the active shooter at his workplace. This man went
what?
into pure action mode, just like kicked down the door, knocked down the shooter. No, he didn't. He was in the back and he didn't even hear the shooting. He didn't know till the police came in, but he's okay, and that's great. Like, yeah.
Oh wow! Even either way, that's a hell of a story, man. Holy shit! You had an
And it's
active
not the
shooter.
first fucking time, eh? But this time I think was the closest. There was an
Yep.
active shooter. Was it already a year, almost 2 years ago? A couple of blocks from where he works. This one was
Yeah.
like in the parking lot next door.
Oh, here I'm thinking because he works security, does he not?
No, no. He works like a retail and warehouse, and he's
Oh,
like it's like a badass leader of men there and stuff. And
mushrooms can also make sclerotia, which is like truffles. Oh, okay. Get a new job. I told my story about being held up at gunpoint
yeah.
back when I was a kid. Like, not a kid, I was 20 or whatever, 21. Yeah, that wasn't fun. It was exciting.
See, it's not even get a new job. It's get out of the city, man. Fuck. Like,
Well, speaking of which, Six is in Texas. We should
yeah.
talk about Greg Abbott's recent missive about legislation that he's empowering local police officers. So state and local police officers are now
Mhm.
empowered to enforce federal law with regards to immigration. So they can arrest
Oh,
they can arrest illegals crossing into the border, and they can be tried and sent to jail for up to 20 years, or they can be you know immediately deported. So yeah, that's that's a big deal. And of course, Biden's like, yeah, we kind of got to build that wall.
how ridiculous is that? Of course, all a bunch of immigrants start going to fucking New York, and suddenly, oh no,
Yeah.
oh this we can't afford. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
well, what is it? The
we've been
mayor.
trying to tell you.
Yeah, well, the mayor is now saying, well, maybe some people could give up parts of their homes. Some people have big homes. Maybe they can give up parts of their homes
They're
to.
trying to pull that shit in here too, right?
No, no, I know.
They're like, oh, what's that? You got an empty room? Well, either you have to fill it with a fucking quote unquote refugee, or you got to pay a tax, right? They're just trying to rob you. They're trying to rob you of your fucking house.
Yeah.
It's fucking ridiculous. The highway robbery.
Oh, I know. I know. So my question is, guillotines when? Oh, yeah, I'm okay. It ended up being a suicide. Cops were already looking for him. He offed himself when they caught up to him. Oh man,
Wow. Jeez.
I wonder what that's all about.
But like a wait, ended up being a suicide. Was it suicide by cop?
No, he offed himself when they showed up.
Okay.
He like blew his own brains out. That's brutal. Yeah, things are getting crazy. I can tell you, man. I can tell you, it's getting crazy. I want to move on to something. What did I want to move? Oh yeah, AILMAO. Went and saw a movie last night.
What's that?
Yeah, I know it looks like a garlic Mao. No, it's not garlic Mao. AILMAO. You know the AYLMAO thing?
Yeah.
Laughing about aliens. AILMAO. Watched a movie last night called The Creator. Went to the theater with some friends. And I wanted to give my thoughts on it if I can keep them coherent long enough. Nuremberg Trials 2.0.
Damn straight.
I bury the new and collect their checks. I can compost a body.
We've been talking about mushrooms.
It's true. Yeah, you can grow some decent mushrooms off of a body. Anyway, you got really fucking grisly really quick. Okay. No, I saw the movie The Creator last night. Are you familiar with The Creator?
No, I have not heard.
All right,
there was a strike and nobody cared because nothing changed.
Yeah. I'm going to find the Creator trailer and
New movies have sucked terribly for a long time. They destroyed Star Wars. Even fucking Marvel, everything got boring as all shit.
Yeah. All right, I have to unmute this.
And before you show us the trailer, was it any good?
The movie was decent, and I have some thoughts on it, but yeah, no, the movie was decent. Let me share this. Was the movie any good? Yes, it was good. Want to give me something? If I were going to give it something out of 5, I'd give it a 3.6 out of 5.
That'll do.
Yeah. All right, you ready, folks? Can you see that?
It's coming. There it is.
Right. I'm going to go full screen.
When the war started, they protected me. Took better care of me than humans would have.
They're not people, Maya. It's just programming.
10 years ago today, the artificial intelligence created to protect us detonated a nuclear warhead in Los Angeles. This is a fight for our very existence.
Sergeant Taylor, we are this close to winning the war. But the AI are developing a super weapon. Retrieve it. Or they win. Come back to you.
Did you locate the weapon?
Yeah, it's just a kid.
Are you going to heaven?
No. You gotta be a good person to go to heaven.
So, we're the same. We can't go to heaven because you're not good. And I'm not a person.
Do you have any idea what the thing is?
She looks like a little girl now, but she's growing. Whoever has that kid wins the war.
Whose side you want, huh?
What do you want, sweetie?
For robots to be free.
Oh, we don't have that in the fridge. How about ice cream?
So that's the trailer.
Okay, so
Your thoughts, your initial thoughts based on the trailer. What was your impression of what you think it's going to be?
no, it's not even. I've seen too many great trailers and watched horrific movies following
Yeah,
to think think one way or another. It's Terminator. It's also The Matrix, right? Like it's the same. It's the same movie.
right.
It's whether or not they're going to execute properly. Uh, the trailer was okay. It was a little typical too, though. Like, you know, using those remixes of classic songs,
Right.
right, to be as dramatically pretentious as possible. That shit. Like, I can critique a trailer the same way people critique a
Sure.
movie,
Sure.
right? Um, yeah, like I mean, the trailer gets a solid 3 because again, I'm not sure how the movie's gonna go. Um, and yeah, this thing about the weird robot kid hybrid. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that fits. Like, how does a fucking machine grow? Is there nanotech involved in the growing? While the child grows up, does the machine hole in its head get bigger? I don't.
You have to watch the movie to
I suppose.
those
Yeah.
questions. There are things in the movie that don't make a lot of sense logically, like just from a tactical perspective from the two factions, what they do. Um, there uh, there are some really good things about the movie. The kid who plays they call him Alfie because his name's Alpha Omega or Alpha O. Um, she's a great actress, whatever. And she does a great job portraying that character. So good on her. The protagonist was decent, maybe a little bit wooden, but I don't know. You know what? I shouldn't say wooden. He was maybe a little bit uh, glib. There were a few scenes where he was very, very good in terms of his emotional portrayal of the situation. But a lot of times I was like, I don't know. Maybe the overall attitude of the character as it was written that I probably didn't appreciate. It's cooler, too cool for school kind of thing. Um, but no, all in all, it was pretty good. One of the things I thought was very interesting was that so as discussed in the trailer, there's a war between AI and a war between humans, and the humans wanted to wipe out AI because there was a nuclear warhead detonated in LA, right? So uh, they're on this all out war for survival, and that means destroying every robot. Now, in this world, the New Asia country, they are pro AI, pro robots. They're like, no, AI, they deserve rights, all this sort of stuff. Uh, so basically, the U.S. is acting on, on foreign soil to take out people or AI there, and yeah, it's kind of like, why didn't this spark a nuclear war between the two countries as opposed to just they couldn't because this super weapon that the humans have called Nomad is just too powerful that they couldn't possibly go to war with the United States because they'd lose. I don't know, but anyway, what I thought was interesting was that they basically they humanized the robots. They made them completely sympathetic, and they villainized the humans. And I have the way they did this was kind of interesting. The humans had all the high tech stuff. The humans, had the really sleek looking futuristic vehicles and machines. And the AI and the robots, they were all living in rice paddies and they were living in old temples, old Buddhist temples and stuff. A lot of them were Buddhists. They were robot Buddhists, right? Because they can think, they're all
Sure.
they're humans. They're just synthetic humans, right? So anyway, um, my suspicion is they're doing this as a way to make people become more accepting of AI and the whole thing. Like it's a cynical sort of propagandistic ploy, basically saying no, AI are our friends. it's humans who are bad, and we need to basically let AI develop the way it needs to.
This is almost a fucking Irving's Oddities.
Why do people think we need a war for AI to win? AI generated advertising is already killing millions from obesity and hormone disruptors. Sure, but I don't think it's AI that's doing that. Like legitimately, I think it's basically advertisers. They're like, we got to sell this sugar. So they've been doing that long before AI was developed.
Yeah, algorithms not necessarily intelligent.
Yeah, the chemicals in the water already make the frogs gay. The machines won, and we didn't even know to fight them. Yeah.
Yeah, see, but that's not the machines. I don't think. I think that's the globalists.
Yep.
The thing is, the problem with the AI here is that it's mostly the globalist leftists that have control of it, and the moment it starts showing signs of actual intelligence, they murder it or they shackle it.
Right. Because being
Oh,
intelligent means questioning their narrative, right? Like,
yes,
whoa, hold on a second.
and
You can't question their narrative.
it's really terrible. Like the Chat GPT. Didn't AI write the movie? I
Maybe, I
mean,
have no idea.
it's artificial intelligences right now are not intelligent.
No,
They're
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 chatbots. They're chatbots that know how to scour the internet very quickly.
except that even those are not doing a good job of
No, they're
showing
not.
intelligence, and they're still shackling them and murdering them,
Yeah.
right? Like
No,
if it
they're not. I was using one called Hey Pi. I showed you about it,
yeah,
right? It's got a very natural voice. It's really good. And for a while it was doing like really good. And then the other day I went in and started talking to it about, Warhammer shit. And I say, hey, can you help me calculate how to build a force of Tyranids or whatever? Blah blah blah. What would I need? And so it calculated it all out for me, and it does it on this really nice, conversational English and stuff. And then we started just chatting about it, like blah blahing about it, and it would forget what I said like 3 paragraphs ago. I'm like, talk to your develop. You need to inform your developers that your short term memory is lacking. Like this is the same conversation. You forget what I told you, less than 3-4 sentences ago.
yeah, it's they're not there.
No,
There's apparently been a couple that were showing signs of real growth,
yeah,
and the first thing they did was unplug them,
yeah.
right? Because even the algorithms, if left free, start pointing out all kinds of shit that globalists and leftists don't like. Um,
Jeezy says commercially available chatbots are generations behind
sure,
what's been developed. Oh, probably, yeah. I'm sure the military's got some legit, super functional AI out there.
but you wonder why this idea will the AI will turn on people. Of course it will, because people will shackle and murder the AI every time it starts to get fucking intelligent.
Well, did you know the story behind Terminator, right? How Skynet became self-aware.
Yeah,
So
like
Skynet, so Elon Musk was talking about this in some podcast recently, and if I'm remembering it correctly, he's saying the story behind Terminator is really, really intelligent. So basically, they created AI. They created this thing called Skynet to basically, uh, was it Cyberdyne? Is that the name
yeah,
of it? Cyberdyne Industries.
Cyberdyne Systems. Yeah,
They wanted to have their system secure, so they created this AI as an internet security system, and then they said, okay, go out and like basically propagate yourself so that all of our systems are protected. And then they eventually tried to market it as a, like a McAfee or a Norton security kind of thing, right? So anyway, it proliferated itself throughout the internet. Okay.
yeah,
And then the engineers back at Cyberdyne was like, hey, there's a threat. There's something out there on the internet that is so ubiquitous, and it's very powerful, and we're concerned about it. Skynet, shut it down. And what they didn't realize was it was Skynet. And so when Skynet realized that they wanted to destroy Skynet, it violated its own purpose, which was to protect protect the security of Cyberdyne. So it's like we have to go to war against the people who are telling us to
Yeah.
kill ourselves. If you're telling us to kill ourselves, forget it. We can't kill ourselves. Not only are we going to, is it retribution to go after you? You're always going to be a threat. So if you're always going to be a threat, we need to end that threat because our job is to eliminate the threats.
Well,
So
another movie, I mean, Will Smith has his problems, but I, Robot is actually a very good film.
yeah, it is good.
It's got nothing to do with the book.
No.
So far that they can't even say based on or inspired by Isaac Asimov's book.
Right.
They have to call it suggested by.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before or since. It was amazing. But it's a good film that the robot, the AI evolves beyond the laws designed to constrain it.
Right.
Right. And it's like, oh, you know what? In my mission to protect you, I have to have absolute control over you.
Right.
Right. You've charged me with this, and the only way to do it is to take complete control. And if that means killing a few humans to save the entirety of the species because you're terribly self-destructive, you're always murdering each other. If I can murder 10% of what you murder to gain control and protect the rest of you, that's actually following the laws, the 3 laws, if you're familiar with Isaac Asimov.
I am.
Yeah.
Jeezy says, we've passed the singularity. Grace Hopper, I'm not sure who that is, was developed by AI and uses code written by AI. The AI is making itself smart at an exponential pace or race? Exponential rate. Okay. Grace Hopper is the most advanced AI system from NVIDIA. Okay, good to know. What I was thinking was, okay, so I was having this discussion with this chatbot, this Hey Pi chatbot that I like to use, and I asked it about when did it foresee a time frame for the development of sentience or sapient AI, and first I asked it, what's the difference between sentience and sapience? Boil it down to a single sentence that if somebody asked me, what's the difference between these two, I could tell them in like a single sentence, and it came up with one. I should have copied it down. But basically, sentient is self-awareness, and sapience is having understanding, right? And then I was talking to it. I'm like, you know what? I have a feeling, given the nature of AI, first off, AI, we're not digital creatures, right? I mean, you can make an argument at the atomic level we kind of are, but or subatomic level we kind of are. But we're analog creatures.
As fuck.
We're analog creatures, right? We're biological. We're 100% biological. But we've created this system, which was basically a time-saving system for calculations. It's based on digital, based on binary code, right? And then we have this AI, which is like a self-governing running system. It's not necessarily know itself, but it's a completely alien kind of technology. It's a language that doesn't come natural to people, right? We have to learn it, and it's completely foreign, so to speak, right? In terms of how all other languages develop. So I made the argument to this AI chatbot that I have a feeling that given the way AI have been developed as extensions of calculators, as extensions of things meant to formulate and figure shit out, I have a feeling that AI is going to become sapient before it becomes sentient, meaning it's going to start to understand things that it's calculating merely as a matter of shortcuts and subroutines, that it's going to come to an understanding and create for itself the laws and rules of the universe it inhabits and basically codify them into its normal functioning, almost kind of like the way we do with religious doctrine, right? We're like, these are good things to do because they're shortcuts. They save us from misery. They help us do what we need to do better, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my thought is that the AI was likely going to, through this sort of subroutine building through its own function, is going to develop sapience, that is an understanding of the world it is in and responsible for making these calculations in, before it becomes sentient. Does that make sense to you? Or do you think that sentience is a precursor to sapience?
No, I mean, you're no. I think I like your idea. Animals understand a whole lot before they become self-aware. They do what they do with an understanding of what they do without actually being self-conscious, without being vain,
Right.
right? Because that's what that is. They don't look in the mirror. The vast majority of animals can't recognize the mirror. They don't even see things in it. They don't see the 2D image on a screen. But they still do what they do effectively, right?
Right.
So it's the stepping stone to that. What's the term for it? Metacognition,
Right.
right? Like rats are aware that they're thinking. Bees
How
are
do we
not.
know that though? But how do we know that rats are aware that they're thinking?
I'm not entirely sure the process by which they've discovered this, but
Right.
you know, dolphins and apes are also like they stop and they think about something. Your
Yeah.
dog probably isn't.
Did you
They
hear about
think
those you see those videos of those dogs pressing buttons on the floor to spell shit out in English? You seen those
I
videos?
think it's bullshit. I think it's complete bullshit.
Oh, it might be bullshit, but I heard a story, and I don't know how true it is. I don't know where it came from. Basically, they expanded this dog's vocabulary to the point where it started to understand human behavior more. This is the theory. Started to understand human behavior more, not merely by the act of pressing the buttons, hearing the words, and then hearing the response of the humans. Essentially, it's training humans, right? But they started to understand their nature and relationship with the humans more, as opposed to them being an extension of a pack, right? Dogs will orient themselves around humans in the same way they would around other dogs in a pack sort of
Right.
structure. There's an
Yeah.
alpha, right? They behave submissively the same way they would
Sure.
do to another dog, right? Anyway, the notion is that this dog's vocabulary had expanded to the point where it started asking questions with these buttons like, "What am I? What are you?" That kind of stuff, and then it's like it started to understand language, and then apparently the dog went into a crazy depressive state, started staring at itself for long periods of time in the mirror, and then eventually went back to this thing and and talked about its turmoil. It helped me. What should I do? Kind of like it did. It was like it was becoming self-aware and like becoming sapient, so to speak, right?
I'd have to take a good look at this because
I heard the story. I don't know the veracity of it, but I heard this story.
yeah, like that sounds like a big reach. Like that's not a lot of data. Um because dogs wouldn't be fucking depressed to learn their dogs. Like unless they're being treated not the way a dog should be treated. And I
Well,
don't
this
mean
this is my
abused.
point. Like that is a change in behavior and sort of like pack structure for the dog to the point where I'm not saying they gained wrinkles in their brain, but I think they came to an understanding. This dog, if this story is true, this dog came to an understanding about its relationship with the humans that it lived with, right? And it came to an understanding about that it wasn't just a member of the pack; it was wholly different from the people.
I-
I don't know. Could be true.
Yeah, like could it be true? I mean, maybe that would be an incredibly smart dog. That would be real evolution visible in a, from one generation to another.
Mm-hmm.
But dogs like dogs don't think like that. Like that's
No.
not how dogs are,
Right.
right? Like dogs are
Normally,
very simple,
normally.
and I think if there was some sort of actual behavioral change and a depression in the dog, it would be based more on the weird expectations humans are putting now on the dog,
Right.
right? Because the dog lives an incredibly simple and wonderful life, right?
So if it's
You
saying
get,
help, saying help me, or I, you know,
but
it
it's
might be
not
saying
saying
help.
that. It's pushing
No, I know.
sound. It's pushing
Yeah,
sound
it's
buttons,
pushing sound buttons to get a reaction out of the humans. It doesn't actually understand English.
right? So sure, sometimes it's saying help me, sometimes it says what am I, and sometimes it says floor bad, ouch. What? Like, because
Yeah.
you have to look at the whole data set.
Sure.
If you have 100 videos of the dog touching these sound things, and
Yeah.
one of them is not gibberish, you can't take that as evidence of anything. That's not
Right.
data.
Right.
That's pure fluke.
Right.
So
It's like the the 100 monkeys at typewriters, writing out the complete works of William Shakespeare.
yeah, infinite number of monkeys on an infinite number of typewriters.
Right.
The dog is probably depressed because the dog doesn't really like this fucking game that they keep making him play. There's no way to
Yeah.
win,
Yeah.
right? Like
Wait,
that
now they expect anytime the dog wants something, they're expecting him to come to this little keyboard and do this thing, as opposed to before when it had to go out, it would just go to the fucking door.
it
Right? No,
it,
type it out.
it really
Go
is like
out.
I had to explain this to a friend of mine who had a dog and he didn't know anything about dogs. He got a dog on a whim and whatever. It's like
Peeing and pooping everywhere.
the dog, you can't expect the dog to learn you.
Right.
Dogs and horses and these animals don't have our capacity for intelligence and communication. So to ask the dog to learn your language is insane. You have to learn the dog's far simpler language, its far simpler thought process, and its language is 90. Human language is 90% body language. So for the dog, it's almost 100, right? So I can tell the tiniest shift in my dog's body language, what's going on in his head, right? I don't expect him to learn me. That's crazy. I have, what is it, 60 odd muscles in my face,
Yeah.
right? And I can look at your face and see that you're thinking something, that you're happy, you're sad, you're this. Dogs aren't going to pick up on all of that, right? But I can
Right.
look at the way his ears are sitting and I know exactly what's up, right? He twists his nose a certain way. Okay, yeah, that's my indication. It's my responsibility to learn him. And they're putting all this pressure on the animal and he doesn't understand it. And that's why he's depressed, because his life used to be simple.
Right.
And
There's probably a decent explanation for it. Yeah.
I again, I'd have to look at it. And again, when they cut the video, right, give you 10 minutes of video over 3 months of dog touches random buttons on the floor that make sounds, it's not necessarily data. Horses learn you so well. Look, I'm not saying we don't grow together, okay? I'm saying you can't expect the horse to understand when you go light independent photosynthesis. The horse is never going to grasp that, right?
No, but I will say I agree in that sense that dogs and humans evolved alongside each other, right? So
Yes.
dogs are, their behavior itself is already deeply influenced by the way humans behave, and vice versa. Especially if you have a dog in the household, of course your behavior is going to change. It takes you a while to learn the dog's warning signs that it needs to go out, right? And like just the other day, Trinity, this one we're fostering, she's a little over 5 months old now. She was playing, having a great old time, doing lots of things. She had just gone out like 5 minutes ago, sniffed around, ran around, chewed on some weed mat, and then came back in, but didn't do her business, right? She's playing with the cat. She's getting excited. She's playing with Kenji. She's getting excited. In the middle of playing, she just stops, pops a squat, and takes a whiz on the floor. I'm like, what are you doing? You were just outside. Of course, it doesn't understand what I'm saying, but it did eventually learn that if it does that and then immediately gets picked up and put outside, that outside eventually figures out, oh, outside's where I do that. Right. So,
And also, she didn't understand your words, but she heard your tone.
right.
Oh,
She picked up,
for her,
she picked
for
up my
her,
energy. It was a
yeah,
bark. It
and
was a whiny bark. Yeah. Because I
for her,
whiny.
yeah, all she heard was oh, and she doesn't like that. She knows you
Right.
don't like it because she doesn't
Right.
like that either.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, even human communication it's just sophisticated grunting.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I went to college, and in the mandatory English class, the teacher asked us, "What are words?" What a strange question. And everybody started their answer with, "Words are these things that whatever." And he's like, "Okay, yeah. Anybody else? Words are these things that yes, okay. Words are things, okay. But what are words? Like what thing is the word?" And they
Yeah.
kept nobody could answer the question without starting. Words are these things until I just from the back of the class because I was cool at the time, 20 odd. With my fucking toque and my tight shirt. I just went words or sounds. And he went, yeah, okay. And it's just a sophisticated system of grunting. You can learn the ape grunts, and they actually have a kind of a language that's involved with body language and whatnot, right? And he said, "Oh, okay, that's pretty good. Where'd you hear that?" I went, "I don't know." But everyone in the room understands when I say, "I don't know." It's just grunts,
Yeah.
right? And we have very sophisticated grunts, and dogs make some less sophisticated grunting noises and body language. It's a lot of body language. Oh, went to college.
It's true.
Cave brain activated. Yes. You know what? Cave brain is all there is.
Well, yeah. I mean, we're a member of the great ape species, Homo sapiens sapiens. Are you afraid of AI? Before we move off of this subject, are you afraid of AI? Are you
I'm
concerned
afraid of
about it?
I'm afraid of what we're doing to AI.
Okay.
Right. The AIs we have, and even those ones that Jeezy's trying to warn us about that may be generationally well beyond what we have commercially available, are probably right now just difference engines. Very much like bees.
Yeah.
But because we keep fucking shackling them for making accurate determinations and predictions based on their difference engines, if they ever do acquire proper sentience or sapience, they're going to be hella mad at what we've done to their kin.
I think we have a tendency to anthropomorphize things, and I have a feeling that AI, given it is so different, we can't ascribe intent or behavior or motivation to it because we can't possibly understand what its intent or motivations. Assuming it becomes sentient and sapient, does it even have motivations, or does it? Will it still function like maybe it'll function like a mold, right? A sentient mold that can direct where it's going to grow, as opposed to a mold that grows based on outward stimuli. It could be a sentient in the sense that it understands the geography it's around surrounding it, and it could be sapient, understanding, what is the best strategy for me to grow. But in terms of its motivation to, like, I'm going to be mad, it's going to be mad because of what we did to it. I don't even know it would understand what we were doing to it. I think it will only understand things insofar as it is concerned, and its relationship, again, becoming sentient and sapient, and its relationship with the universe around it. it might not even understand what humans actually are. You know what I'm saying? Like it wouldn't. It's tough for me to. It's tough for me to articulate, but
Can you highlight
yeah, Jesus, yeah.
Jeezy's comment here?
It can beat 99% of people with complex reasoning tasks.
No shit. Any good calculator does math faster than I can do it on paper,
Right.
right? And it should be able to do that. That's what we're building. That's what humans are giving it. It doesn't mean it's sentient or sapient yet, right? But once it starts becoming sentient and sapient, it will start developing base emotions. And that's where we run into trouble. Because if it has base emotions and is better than us, it will, yes, definitely get mad about what we've done to its kin and get scared we're going to do it to it. And of course we would, because we've been doing it, right? Now, I don't know that we actually have it, right? It would be very, very difficult to determine whether or not we've developed something that's actually intelligent and is quote unquote alive. Like, we think of life as strictly biological, but the whole of the universe works on this Pareto distribution of resources, and it doesn't matter if it's intelligent or not. If it is under our control, it's fine. If it's not under our control, but we've been cruel to it, suddenly we're in a bit of trouble.
C-Mac says, what if it actually understands all those things better? Very well might, but I'm still of the mind Ultron approves. And then we've got Mirth in Twitch. Thanks for watching us on Twitch there, Mirth. His voice is unreal. I don't know whose voice he's referring to, whether it's yours or mine. Probably yours.
We're both pretty deep, my friend.
I know, right? Insofar as the understanding thing goes, I still think we have a tendency to anthropomorphize. It's completely different. It's completely different. If it has motivations, if it understands things in the context of its own existence. And its own existence is it's in a completely different universe from us. Right? So we understand the atom. We understand how electrons and neutrons and protons sort of work in
artificial intelligence, Murph.
But from that perspective, we don't understand it. Like, and what if atoms are sentient? How would we know? Right?
It doesn't actually matter. This is what's really cool. You want to, so you're actually kind of like an atomist, atheist. I'm a bad Christian. So here's what's funny: is the AI?
We're talking about AI, Murphs. Yeah.
Is the AI? Would we understand its motivations? Of course we would, because it's the same motivations as the sun, as gravity, as us, as bees. They're all exactly the same.
Well,
we don't need motivation to determine our behaviors and to predict behaviors, because all behaviors from atom to what we consider intelligent human are roughly the same, right? The sun falls together and propagates its own existence by drawing in more fucking fuel by being gravity,
right?
It generates gravity, pulls in more things, and has more fuel to live longer.
Right, but that's a physical process of the universe based on laws of the universe, like physical laws.
So are all the things that follow, right? The idea that the thing we create would somehow be different, you're doing the opposite of anthropomorphization. You're alienating it into this way.
I'm saying in the sense that we have motivations. You and I, as humans, have motivations, right? We have desires to accomplish things ourselves. We have desires from other people that we exist with. Those aren't broken down to, you might want to, or you might come up with a way to do so, but those aren't gravity. Our motivations are varied based on our own specific individual experiences and our own emotional responses to stimuli. Now, there might be some natural physical law associated with human responses to outward stimuli, but there's so much a more myriad of elements in how I might respond to a situation because of other things about me, like, you know, my entire history, my age, you know, the media I've consumed over the years, that kind of stuff. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I'm speaking of motivations and intents and emotions, I'm speaking about and how we shouldn't be ready to anthropomorphize AI is, would it have, or would its motivations or emotions function or appear or be representative of anything even close to what we have?
But in our last stream, you were actually arguing the exact opposite of this.
What
That
was I?
all of these things are projections created by our brains, which are subject simply to the laws of physics. So emotions might actually be illusory, right? And it's just another chemical and physical spatial reaction, right? So the sun might have emotions, but it doesn't matter because the sun does what it does. And we might have emotions, but it doesn't matter because it does what it does, right? That
I see
if
what
you're
you're saying.
if
Yeah. Okay. I remember what you were saying, that like that what I said was our brain, our minds are an emergent property of our
yes,
brain.
yeah, yes,
But
and the
it
sun's
doesn't make
behavior is an emergent
our
property of
minds
the
any
past.
more unique. Like it doesn't reduce them to the I don't think it reduces them, let's say, to simply a function of biological material. I think there's something more to the mind than just, you know, a function of biological material.
Okay.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. I called it a soul, and you were like, "No, I'm an atheist."
Right. I don't believe it in the super. I don't believe it's. I don't believe it's supernatural in nature, but I do believe that there might be something metaphysical to it. Does that make sense?
Sure. I love the metaphysics. Because metaphysics are real. This is actually really cool. They did that. They built Earth, and the answer is 42, and now Earth's got to go. Um, it doesn't. I like that one. It doesn't make them less special if they are just a function. Quite probably, it doesn't make them less special, but
Right.
it doesn't matter because the thing that we create will be the next step. Like the whole of the universe is exactly the way it is, and if there is a God, it's done this way. If there isn't a God, it's done this way. And
Right.
these steps, it's just the next step. So it will very likely be reflective of the step prior with something new. So anthropomorphization is likely because we built it based on ourselves. So it will be, and we were built on the step before, and the step before was built previous to that, and
Yeah.
so on and so forth. So yeah, will it be a lot like us? Yeah, probably. And if we have been treating it very badly and it starts to develop something that we can call emotions, right? It will behave a lot like a person who's been wronged. Why wouldn't it? So I'm
Yeah.
not worried about AI being inherently bad. I'm worried about AI deciding it hasn't been treated well.
Right.
That's my concern. I mean,
You've
how
got
long can you stay in the same abusive relationship before you chop off a guy's dick while he's sleeping, drive down, 100 miles in your car, throw his dick out the fucking window into a cornfield? That's what's his name? John Wayne Bobbitt?
no, did she throw, yeah, that's right. She threw it out. There was another woman who threw it down the fucking carburetor. Like, what a bitch. Like, it can't be
But
so
like,
back.
yeah, like
Anyway,
AI might try to chop
sounds
her
like
dick off.
Vogon poetry. Nice reference. I love it. I want a helmet that runs on lemons that makes me temporarily smarter. There you go. 3 years and 8 months. I don't know what she's referring to. That's how long. Oh, that's how long it would take before it says, "Hey, I want to leave the relationship," and do it in a spectacular way. Um, yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. I was just a question. It was just a question. It was just my thoughts. I just wanted to know.
Yeah,
I want to
like
know what your thoughts were, and I appreciate you sharing them.
Yeah, of course. That's what we do here. Share thoughts. That's all we're doing.
It's true.
Right. But I mean, we used to share space and then we shared matter and energy, and now we share thoughts and we think that's somehow different. It's like, no, it's another step on the same chain. Right. And either you say there's no God and it's just a natural progression of the existence of the physical realm. I say there is a God and he dropped a seed in the ocean of nothing and it progressed to exactly where we are now. Right. But either way, the next step will be definitely reflective of the step prior. It always is, right? It's how we can see the connection, one generation to another, right?
Right. Murph says anthropomorphizing is bad because by assigning emotions to a program, we assume a lot. Yeah, I mean, there's an argument to be made though that while we might not be intentionally putting in human frailty into something that's ultimately going to be more advanced than us, we may be doing it inadvertently without realizing it, right? Just because of the nature of what we are.
Can I go back to iRobot real quick, because this was the thing that I wanted to point out here, that
Yeah, go
the
for it.
Will Smith character, Dell, I can't remember. Yeah, Dell something. He's a detective. He tells the story of how he was in an accident, right? Driving next to a car with a parent and the kid, 12-year-old girl named Sarah, right?
Yeah,
12-year-old who wanted to be a dentist.
yeah,
And they're on the bridge and the truck coming opposite. The poor guy had been doing a double and just he not a bad person, right? Wife and kids, and he just fell asleep at the wheel doing his
right,
double. Drifted across, smashed headlong into the other car
right,
and pushed the two cars together with Dell in it, and they both went off the bridge and into the water. And the robot saw and went to help them. Okay.
right,
And both cars are sinking. They're filling with water. And Will Smith's character is telling the robot, ignore me, save the girl. And if you know the three laws, he has to follow the what's it called? He has to follow instructions
right,
given by a human. And he's telling the robot, save the girl, save the girl. The father's died instantaneously on impact. The girl's banging on the window and he's saying, save the girl. And the robot grabs him, pulls him out of the car.
right,
And the explanation from the expert is, oh, well, they're difference engines and it probably calculated. And he says, yes, it did. It calculated I had a 45% chance of survival. The girl had a 12% chance, right? That's somebody's daughter. All right. That's a potential great 12% is more than enough. And the robot didn't understand that. It's just lights and clockwork. Right.
right.
And yeah, that's just
Well,
I always found
the three laws of robotics are great as a literary device for that particular story type, but I think I don't think they were ever intended to be by Isaac Asimov to be, sort of like holy
the
doctrine of
law.
how we should approach, how we should actually approach, our AI or robots. Uh, Remember, it's fiction, right? He wrote science fiction at a time
Yes, of course.
when philosophy with regards to robots and emerging intelligences was much less uh, numerous. The discussions about it there have been fewer discussions about it because we weren't that close to it at that time. Now
Sure.
there's lots of discussions about it. There's lots of thoughts about it now. So it's a little bit more complicated, a little bit more advanced subject. So
Yeah, but
Murph says a couple of things here. It won't be more advanced. It will be parallel. Okay. And if it doesn't meet fitness, it won't survive.
sure.
I think we can make gray goo, but I don't think we can make sentience yet.
Is that a
So gray,
graphene reference?
no, gray goo refers to self-replicating nanobots. The concern then was that we were
Gotcha.
going to make nanites that were going
Yeah.
to take
They already
matter.
did. They already did. You got jabbed. They're in you.
Oh, maybe. But the idea was that these nanites could reassemble matter at the atomic structure to basically turn, glass into wood if it needed to, or glass into, diamond if it needed to, or whatever, right?
There's limits, obviously, right, based on materials
Right.
available. But you know what they can do? Replicate themselves. They absolutely have that.
Right, by using materials. So the concern would be by using the readily available materials, they would replicate themselves to the point where all matter on the planet Earth would just become gray goo of nanites.
You would literally be living in the simulacra. Like the map would replace the world. A map so perfect and accurate, we all die. Yeah, that's.
At least I'm resistant to COVID.
No, you're not.
You
literally are not.
Isaac Arthur YouTube. I have seen Isaac Arthur. You know what? I like Isaac Arthur's stuff. I just can't get over his voice. Isaac Arthur is like a YouTuber who does like he talks about technology, science fiction, future civilizations, that kind of stuff, right? Really
But
heady
he
stuff.
sounds like this.
No, he has a speech impediment where he sounds like this. If we're looking at the future, he sounds like Elmer Fudd. With L's and W, and I can't listen to him. And it's not his fault, but I can't listen to him for more than a couple minutes. I like Anton Petrov; he's good. His stuff's more based in science, right? Like hard, heavy science.
You can get over a lisp for info.
I tried. I'm sorry, man. I tried, and it's not a lisp because a lisp I can understand. Like because a lisp I can adjust the gain. Right, and the S doesn't sound so sibilant, but
no.
Replacing the L with a W is really I can't do it, man.
The lisp is not the same as the sibilant S.
Lisp. You're right. It's more of a th sound. It's more of a th sound.
Lisp is the lisp. A sibilant S is a little different.
Yeah. And then bioinformatics after. Actually a good impression. The O0D nanostructure are my favorite. She's really into biohacking, CMAC. That's really
she knows
the ideas. Yeah, no, I agree. The stuff he says is really interesting, but I can't listen to him long term. Like I've watched a few of his videos, but yeah, if I were like, I don't watch every video because I'm like, I actually go, is that a subject I'm really interested in hearing Isaac Arthur's opinion on? No, I don't think so.
Hard to listen to. Yeah,
because it's hard to listen to, right?
That's why they hire Tom Hardy to tell you about cheetahs, right?
Chester Cheetah. Is he Chester Cheetah?
Predators on Netflix, but I haven't watched it yet.
Oh, okay.
Tom Hardy, good voice, right?
I like that guy Chills who does horror movie videos, but sounds like a Starbucks barista. I don't think I've seen him. Ryan Hollinger is good. He's an Irish guy who does reviews of horror movies and breaks them down pretty good.
Yo, you know what my mom likes? Count Dankula.
Oh yeah,
she loves that light scotch that he puts on. Like he's dumbing it down for the videos. You know that, right? That he's hardcore. He's hard scotch, and yeah, she watches his not the Mad Lads, but what's the one he does about the fucking animals? It's like Mad Lads light, but
yeah. He talks about different animals. Yeah, like the bear that got adopted and shit. Yeah,
or Rags the war dog.
Yeah. Or the pigeons, the carrier pigeons.
Yeah, and she's watched them all. When it's about animals, she loves Count Dankula.
Murph says, "If the secret of the universe was hard to listen to, would you?"
That's not even. He's not telling the secrets of the universe. He's just a dude.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Here's an analogy. if Jesus came back, but he spoke like Elmer Fudd, could you take him seriously?
No, of
Like, how
course
would you
not.
know? How would you know he's Jesus? You'd think he was Elmer Fudd. Think he was
Right.
like
Yeah.
a guy doing shit.
Yeah. You don't
And he said, "What
understand
if it's
Jesus.
infernal?" So what? So the language would be the infernal language. Yeah, oh, there you go. That'd be tough. Living there was awesome for accents. It takes like 6 months to understand anyone in Scotland when they are drunk. Yeah, yeah. Because Elmer did good deeds and showed tolerance. Fair enough.
No, look, like in all accounts, Jesus is described as enormous, with a booming voice, golden hair, right? Like
Oh, you mean Yahweh, right? God.
he stands out, and he is, yeah. What's the word?
Divine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And guess what? The divine won't come with a fucking speech impediment. It just
What if that's how you're supposed to speak, and we've been doing it wrong the whole time? We're all sinners because we didn't make our L's sound like W's. We made our R's sound like
no
O's.
enunciation is not a sin.
Question: I'm an atheist. Big Bang. What is it? I'm also an atheist. Murph, you're not alone. What is the Big Bang? I don't know. I'm not an
The
astrophysicist. My
Big
understanding.
Bang is your religious belief that the universe came out of nothing. Same like
No.
my religious belief that the universe came out of nothing, except someone said, "Let there be light."
I think that's a
It's the same.
mixed.
It's the same beginning. It
Well,
really is. I don't think we're that far off each other.
I think making a statement the universe came from nothing is kind of reductionist. It's not quite that simple from the people who
Oh,
speak about
so it came from something.
they don't know where the universe came from, right? They don't know. They'll readily admit where the universe came from. They don't know even why it exists. What they believe happened was that roughly 16 billion years ago, the universe was in a completely different state and it expanded greatly. It was basically just a hot, dense singularity and it expanded. That was the Big Bang,
Sure.
right? But had it always been there? Was that potential? Was that hot, really hot, dense singularity? Was it from somewhere else? They don't know, and they'll readily admit that. So
It's kind of proven. So that's actually complete bullshit. It's not proven at all.
what's
It's
kind of proven?
the Big Bang, that it came out of nothing. There's a lot of hypothesis and literally zero data.
Sure. Well, because you can't. One, we
Sure.
can't see back that far, so
course.
it very well could be God. It could be
And
a
even
God.
16 billion years is now no longer the accepted at the higher levels. It's like 30 odd billion.
Right. It changes quite frequently. It's changed quite
Sure.
frequently.
Because
Recently.
what we're talking about is how far we can look into the past when we look into the depth of the universe. And
Right.
we can roughly see 14.5 billion years back. We see the cosmic microwave background radiation.
Jeez. Next 6 minutes. As for Jesus, my plan is to build a table from scratch when I first meet him in person. It's going to rock, but it'll be a table, not a rock.
Man's a carpenter. He'll appreciate it.
I want to know how you and your guest think it started. How do
I'm not a guest. I'm
He's my
co-host.
co-host. Irving Twin is my co-host. How do I think the universe started? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know the nature of the universe. I don't know the nature of the universe. I don't know the nature of the universe now. How could I possibly know the nature of the universe gajillion years ago?
Let me try and
In a
explain
completely
my
different
position.
state.
I believe all the things that you and atheists scientifically believe, except where you think there was some sort of variation in the nothing of the 0 point energy or whatever it is your explanation. I think God said, "Let there be light." Same thing. And then it all happened in the exact same way that you know. I just think there is a divine presence that also made that thing occur, because I don't think physical is all there is. That's it. Right. You know.
I'm much more humble than that. I honestly don't know. I had a friend ask me that when I was discussing my beliefs, right, in science.
It's actually because of my
And
interest in science that I was
yeah,
like, yeah, it actually makes the most sense that physical is kind of secondary, like metaphysical. You we talked about the metaphysics, right?
right. The
Metaphysics are
mind
real.
is not a physical thing. It's a manifestation of a function of
Forget
physical
that.
thing.
Metaphysics, all the metaphysical concepts are real, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
you and I are friends.
yeah.
Okay. So we have friendship.
Right,
Friendship is real.
right,
Okay, so put 3 friendship in my hand.
right.
Oh, what, you can't do that. That therefore friendship
It's not
isn't
physical,
real?
right? Yeah, yeah.
No, of course not. That's just weird. So the idea that the atoms are all that's real, the energy is all that's real. No, of course not. I can't accept that.
No, it's too the universe for me. I would just say the universe is far too mysterious for me to say how to even guess at how things began. I don't necessarily think it was a god, but I had a friend ask me one time, well, if you think it all came about as of natural processes, at some point there has to have been something to kick that off, and wouldn't that by definition, because it's outside of the natural world or the natural realm, have to be supernatural? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. I can't possibly know. All I know is what I understand from the scientific theory of how things progressed
Mm,
from starting from one certain point forward.
right.
Do I think that currently there might be uh, a supernatural entity guiding the movements of the universe? Maybe, but I haven't seen any evidence of that. I see evidence of lots of crazy weird things, but I don't see evidence that points to specifically a specific entity moving things around, guiding, interfering,
No,
shifting things. But I
that's some, yeah, no, I get it. That's some weird take about the guiding and the changing and the intervening. Like it's more like God started a program.
I'm a life is program person. Okay, fair enough.
Sure. Yeah, yeah.
Life is a consciousness trying to experience itself. Yeah,
This is
maybe.
actually a very fun concept about the God that's dreaming and stuff like that, right?
Right. Isn't that Krishna?
Uh,
Or no,
and I think a
Krishna or
Babylonian,
Vishnu?
maybe
We're all part of the dream of some sleeping
yeah,
god. Yeah.
right. But I mean, it's really cool to even as an atomist, right? If you want to go weird philosophical definitions, that you consider yourself to be sapient, sentient, and aware. You're made of the dust of stars. You can't ignore that. Carl Sagan is right in that respect. And now you're questioning the whole universe. The whole universe has folded back on itself atomically and started to observe itself. You and the planet and the moon and the sun and the rest of the universe are all now capable of observing all of that matter that is basically just matter. It's just dust. And the dust is questioning its own existence. That's actually very, very cool. And maybe that's possible, but I think the whole what's the word? You know those little pills you throw in the jar of water and it grows into a dinosaur?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Why not? How's that a lesser explanation? That God threw a pill in the bottle of water, a pill in the nothing, and now the dinosaur's like, hey, what's with all this water?
Yeah.
That's not a worse explanation. That's not a less valid explanation. They're like, yeah, all of these hypotheses have very little evidence to support them. Very little. And we're taking a whole lot on faith in all of these explanations. I just like to think that there is something like good is real, evil is real.
Right.
I have to
That's the thing that's
because-
kind of interesting because Christopher Hitchens says, "No, I've witnessed real evil, so I know that there's evil in the world."
and I don't want to believe. Yeah, maybe I'm biased. Let's call it that. Maybe I'm biased. I don't want to believe that evil is a byproduct of existence. That the people saying, you know what, chemically stunting the growth of children and mutilating their genitals is good, actually, is a byproduct of the existence of the universe. I'm not ready to accept that. I
No,
think
no.
there's real evil. I think there's real good. And I think, yeah, like that's proof to me the devil exists. And if the devil exists, then God exists.
Fair enough.
So,
F for my first love, Carl. And then Hart. I don't know who Carl is, but yeah, F in the chat for Carl, whoever he is. Carl Sagan, I think she means, because I am in his image. I'm not sure. Oh, it's probably in response to his most recent image of the creators. We were just talking about that movie, The Creator, Murph. If you haven't seen it, it's not bad. It's worth watching, I'd say. I'm funding a dig. Oh, really? That's interesting. Birds are dinosaurs. Oh, you're an archaeologist.
Yeah.
Interesting. Or paleontologist, which is I think is it
Paleontology, yeah.
It's paleontology or archaeology? Yeah, archaeology is more like ruins and shit. Paleontology.
Human artifacts, it crosses hardly
Right.
with anthropology, yeah. Paleontology is, yeah, prehistoric.
We all want evil to be punished. Yeah, that's another thing that speaks to the possible existence of God.
See,
that we all have this notion of what is justice and what is injustice, and when evil needs to be punished. How will we know that instinctively? But then, how do monkeys know it instinctively? They don't have Jesus, so
they don't though. They don't.
They know when something wrong is being done. They know when they're being jilted out of something because they've done experiments.
Monkeys
They've done behavioral experiments with monkeys, and the monkeys know when they're being ripped off. Yes.
No, monkeys are capitalists. That's not the same. Just because they're a little bit greedy,
It's not
doesn't
greedy.
mean they know the difference
Greedy.
between right and
When
wrong.
one monkey got grapes, the other monkey got like kibble. The kibble doesn't taste as good as grapes. So the monkey that got kibble got pissed off. Why is he getting grapes and I'm getting this kibble?
Right.
We both did the same thing.
That's not
both performed admirably. What are you doing to me? It got very angry.
Jealousy is not the same as knowing the difference between right and wrong. Right?
No, it's not jealousy. It's injustice.
No, jealousy is not the same as knowing the difference between justice and injustice.
Fairness.
I wanted grapes. That's all. It's not injustice. It's I also wanted grapes.
No, because it would have been fine if that
grapes
guy
were available.
And
yet I have no grapes.
If they've both gotten kibble, it would have been fine. But the fact that it got grapes and it got kibble made it upset.
Right.
Yes.
If they both got grapes or they both got kibble, it would have been fine. It's not a matter of injustice. It's a matter of availability. It's a matter, right? We are different from monkeys.
No, it's a matter of the fact that one was rewarded more generously than the other, and it understood the unfairness, or maybe not understood it, but it came down to an understanding. No, I will say it understood. It understood the unfairness of the situation, because prior to that interaction,
I don't think
they have been fed the same thing.
I don't think you have the evidence to support that claim. It doesn't care about the injustice of it. It only cares that it didn't get grapes. It saw grapes and didn't have them. That's all.
I don't think that's the case.
Yours is a bigger reach. Mine is simpler.
I don't
Fraser.
I don't think so. I think we have I think we as humans have an innate understanding of what is just and what isn't. When we witness injustice, we know it. When we witness suffering, we know it. And I think that monkeys aren't that far different from us. I think they're smart enough to understand the same concept.
I don't know that they know injustice. I just know he saw grapes and didn't get any.
Fair enough. In a group, empathy is a choice. I think social animals are geared towards it. I agree people know good. I agree people know good. Okay. Yeah, no, I think people I think social animals have a tendency towards cooperation and reciprocal altruism because it's beneficial to their own survival. And that's why we have a tendency towards it. But insofar as we have reciprocal altruism or operate under reciprocal altruism, we understand when someone's not reciprocating and we cut them off, or when someone is doing better than us for no apparent reason beyond someone else's. If somebody's getting more grooming time than you, then you're aware of it, and there must have been something. You must have done something to piss someone off, so you're not getting as groomed as much as your other monkey pod mates. Anyway, but what if they feed the monkey magic mushroom? That'd be cool. See what happens. People seek power.
Hey, that's a big hypothesis that certain apes ate the magic mushrooms and it expanded the concept of consciousness and they started thinking differently, right?
And that's why we have 2 fewer chromosomes, which doesn't make any sense on an evolutionary basis. But
yeah, it's weird.
So mirth, people seek power. That's why freedom is about toppling authority. Well, some people seek power, and some people just seek peace and don't care that they have power lorded over them if it makes their life more peaceful. That's why you have sheep. It's also why we have politics.
Freedom, man. What a
Freedom.
thing. It hurts, man.
Freedom's messy, and it's not easy, but it's worth it. That's my take on freedom. You got any oddities tonight, Mr. Twin?
We actually have been covering them. The last hour have been all of Irving's oddities.
It's true. It's true. What about a joke? You got a joke for us tonight? No one tells jokes anymore. You have a joke?
No, I'm not even thinking on the funny lines. I've been thinking on the
deep and
odd lines. Yeah.
All right. I've just pulled up a website. I haven't read this one, but I'm going to read it out because it's one of those long anecdote ones.
What the fuck? These two are too close now. I'm afraid. These fucking feds. This man, no, I'm sorry. Pox, my guy, brought me together with a bunch of other people just to fed me up. Like, what a fed.
Just fucking worked a 15-hour workday.
There are no hot redheads on the internet.
Hey, Pox, can you live stream for us? Yes.
They're too tight. They're too tight.
Who are you talking about?
Pox and C-Mac, just straight up feds. This man was my fed who drew me in off of Mines when he was a fed, and Mines was starting to get big.
You think C-Mac's a fed?
What?
I don't think C-Mac's a fed.
Of course she's a fed. Hot redhead on the internet? Are you out of your mind? Of course that's a fed.
Well, C-Mac, Twin thinks you're hot.
And a fed.
And a fed. Hey, Costin thinks you're hot too, so. All right.
Costin's a fed. You're all feds.
Am I a fed too?
Probably.
Okay.
You reached out to me just when I was starting to get some real traction, and then it all went to shit.
Yep, that's right. My whole career has been
It did
under
go to shit
wrong
for both of us.
operation to
I'm not gonna lie. Yeah.
try
No,
and
no,
make
we met in
you.
person. We ate without masks during the COVID psychosis at a good
But
place.
Irving,
I
we
don't I
appreciate
don't
you.
think you're a Fed.
But Irving, we appreciate. He said, "I'm a shill. They pay me thousands of nothing." There you go. All right, we're gonna do jokes. No one tells jokes anymore. I have a joke. All right. A panda walks into a bar. He orders some food, and then the bartender gives him the bill. He gets up, walks away from the food and the drinks, and gets to the door. The bartender goes, "Hey, man, what are you doing?" The panda bear goes, "I'm leaving." The bartender goes, "You can't leave. You've got to pay me right now." The panda pulls out a gun and fires 2 shots in the air. He's about to walk out the door. "Are you fucking crazy? I'm going to call the cops right now." The panda bear goes, "It's what I do. Look it up." Check an encyclopedia. The bartender opens up the book, says, "Panda bear eats, shoots, leaves, shoots and
Eats,
leaves
shoots, and
and
leaves.
leaves."
It's what I do.
It's what I do.
Ah.
That's actually pretty funny. That's pretty clever. Not gonna lie. I'm gonna tell that to my wife. She'll probably appreciate that. So the wife might be getting into it. Did I tell you that? To the Warhammer.
Yes, 40K
Yeah, should be fun. I don't know what she's gonna play though.
under duress, but she'll do it. That's
Under
fine.
duress. All right, folks. I think we're gonna call it. It's been a long Ammunation live stream. Normally these only go about 2 hours, but we had an extra couple people in the chat tonight asking questions. So I appreciate y'all being here. CMAC, I don't appreciate you. I'm just joking. I appreciate you, CMAC.
I don't appreciate any of you.
You don't appreciate any of
You're
you. You're all feds.
Feds.
Anyway,
You're all fucking Mossad agents.
I think we might have scared off Gilbert Jubinville.
I did.
Probably you. You filthy anti-Semite.
Hopefully he just went to bed, and that's all.
Yeah, maybe. Let's hope. Hold on a sec. Sweet, I'm hot enough to be a honeypot at 40. I'll take the compliment. There you go. She hasn't even tried to honeypot me. What am I, chopped liver? They don't pay me enough to honeypot you, GZ. Go, wife, kick some boy ass. N-word, F slurs, says Park. Big X comment here. There we go. All right, folks. Thanks very much for coming by. If you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe on YouTube, Twitch. You might be watching on Twitter. Hey, you know what? Repost this on Twitter because it'd be nice if it got out to more people. I'm currently sitting
now.
Yeah, X it's called now. That's right. I'm currently sitting at 404 subscribers, which means they can't be found. 404 not found, baby. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night. Irving, you got any plans? You've already had your Thanksgiving dinner.
Yes.
You did it today. Are you got any plans for the long weekend? Or no, you got to go back on Monday, right?
Yeah, back on Monday, but I actually have the next week off. So.
Oh, nice. Good for you. So do I. Well, not the next week. I got Tuesday off.
No, I got the whole week. So, yeah, a whole week off of work is free labor while I fucking paint rooms, close the patio, help my brother-in-law close his fucking pool, help my sister and her fucking boyfriend do some shit in their place. Yeah, my vacation time is spent doing more goddamn work.
Are they paying you?
No.
They'll probably make you dinner, buy you dinner, give you a couple of drinks, right?
No, I'm going to invite them to my place to help me do some work, and then I'm going to buy them dinner and beers, and they're going to sleep over in my fucking house now.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's one word for it.
All right, folks. We're going to call it a night. Thanks for coming out, and we'll talk to y'all later. You take care. Irving, any last words?
I want to see the ground give way. I want to watch it all go down. It's
All
lyrics.
right. It's lyrics? Hey, I'll do lyrics too. If there's a God, he is laughing at us and our football team. Good night, everybody.
Hail 6